We are going on a trip today.
We're going to Antigua, into the mountains. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be lots of altitude around us and
so much altitude. Oh my God, the altitude. Good morning. We are walking through the boatyard, heading off to the gate because we are going on a trip today.
We're going to Antigua, into the mountains. And we're both really excited because not only is it like a really cool historical town, but it's gonna be cold. Packed my sweater, which I haven't busted out in a long time.
So Antigua was the old capital of what was called the Kingdom of Guatemala. When the Spanish were in charge around here, it was the capital of like all of Central America. Do some hiking, check out some volcanoes, buy some coffee. That's like the most famous coffee region of Guatemala. Hopefully try and visit a coffee farm if we can. And then just cool down because it's like a very popular thing for cruisers to do while they're in the Rio in the summer because it's so damn hot here. So we're gonna be grabbing a bus. The roads around here and in a lot of Guatemala aren't that great, and there's a lot of traffic. There's no point in renting a car. There's no point in getting like a private shuttle. It's just jump in one of these air-conditioned, comfortable buses and accept the fact that you're gonna be in there for like the next 8 hours. All right, let's do it.
I've got sway, I've got sweat, all in the open, no token down.
Oh boy.
Bow tie, crocodile shoes, dressed to the nines when I sell my blues. The snake or salesman, that's me.
So the bus is here. You can see everyone's lining up, getting ready to get in. In fact, they're boarding right now. And of course, Desiree chooses now to go to the bathroom. So she just ran to find a bathroom. And I hope she's quick because, I mean, they're gonna be taking off here in like the next 3 to 5 minutes. Buddy.
Heat and ready to go.
Bad buddy.
What?
Don't look too close, best from afar. The murky light of the dim down bar. You've heard rumors, well they're all true. But what I've got.
Okay, ready, bud?
Let's do it. Bye, Atticus. I miss boat.
So it's kind of funny because I don't really get that nervous when we sail, you know? I don't get that nervous when I'm on a plane, but man, taking a bus like into the mountains and these like windy roads, I get so nervous.
Just don't look out the window.
Yeah, just don't look outside. We're like passing people and doing this and that.
Don't look.
So anyway, we'll get there eventually.
Hey, bud.
What?
I gotta pee already.
You get down with my groove. Your head will nod and your feet will move. It sure feels good flying high. I never.
Well, we are officially stuck in some traffic. Been here for what, 5 minutes now? And we just haven't moved at all. So it looks like it's just a whole lot of construction going on the road. But at least it is air conditioned. There's a movie playing. It definitely could be worse. This must be like a connecting shuttle. So we left like almost 7 hours ago?
We left at 8 a.m.
Dang, that's crazy. Hopefully it's like an hour or two more to go. This should be our last leg of this trip. So we transferred into a really nice shuttle. You can kind of see pretty big, not a lot of people. And this is taking us from Guatemala City, where we still are right now, to Antigua.
And he said it'll be like 30 to 45 minutes.
Oh, that's it?
Hmm?
Oh, wow. Man, we're almost there.
Oh my gosh, it's cool. It feels so nice.
Yeah. You think it's worth a 8.5-hour travel time?
Yeah, you know, that wasn't that bad. At least we had air conditioning and our own like personal space. Nice movies to watch.
Okay, here's the Central Park area. Wow. Yeah, these are some beautiful buildings.
The woman asked if I wanted a shirt,
Yeah.
and she goes, "Do you want a shirt? Your boyfriend will pay for it." She goes, "El novio paga."
Walking over to the Airbnb, and I'm just literally in shock at the temperature.
Yeah.
It's like cold.
I had to put
It's
my
like-
sweater on.
We've been in the heat for a while now, you know, with Mexico and Belize and here, but like the Rio is a different heat. Like, I mean, it's like hot with like no wind
Yeah.
and like lots of humidity. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's like very hot.
It's so hot in the Rio that like between, I'd say 12 and 2:30, 3 o'clock, it's pretty much impossible to stay on the boat. Even when we have the fans going and everything and the sunshade up, it's just too hot. If you want to stay on the boat, you just have to like not move and have all the fans pointed at you.
Yeah.
So coming from that to here is crazy.
Don't do it.
Now run. I see a red house over there. Airbnb is really cool.
Looks nice, yes. I mean, this is the first Airbnb that I've been to that's basically like, you know, like a hotel, a really small hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell at some point it was just like a big, nice house. It's only, for the two of us, $30 a night.
Nice.
Yeah, so for 3 nights, $90.
All right, we're all checked in and settled in, and we're gonna go for a walk in the city, but we wanna check out the rooftop first. See the volcano. Pretty cool. It's behind you.
Holy shit.
Y un dirty chai frappe.
Okay.
Little heart for my buddy.
I haven't seen that in a long
I
time.
know. That's so good.
Alright, well, we found this cool little Guatemalan restaurant, and I got the plato típico, which is just like basically a variety of, you know, typical Guatemalan food. And then you got,
I got the Creole hen and rice.
that looks really good.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
check out this restaurant, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so good.
All right, good morning. Well, Desiree is not feeling very well this morning, so she's gonna just take it easy, but I am late and trying to catch a walking tour of the city of Antigua, so I'm on the run. Hopefully I'll make it. All right, well, made it. It was a quick run, but I made it. And here's Elizabeth Bell with Antigua Tours. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to a tour. We're waiting for one other person, so it's gonna be hopefully the 3 of us.
Chico, he's going to do some filming. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Everyone can keep their clothes on, so it's fine. No problem.
Okay.
I mean, it's optional. Totally optional.
We are at 5,000 feet, and those volcanoes protect us from hurricanes that come up from the Pacific. but they do not protect us from earthquakes. They are created by two tectonic plates that come together out in the Pacific Ocean. So we have earthquakes all the time. Last year we had 1,100 registered earthquakes with no damage. So that's why we have low squat architecture. Most of our buildings are one story because of that. Basically, Antigua was built with chocolate exports, yes, but it was agricultural products. So you have saffron that was worth more than gold, a spice, and all the chilies and so forth and tomatoes are from here. You couldn't export those per se, but you could export the seeds. Chocolate was the big money maker, cacao. So that's Maya. It comes directly from the Mayas. So the Spanish had a lockdown on this section. If you were not Spanish, you were not welcome. They wanted to keep the monopoly on cacao, chocolate, and out of Oaxaca, cochineal, which is an insect that turns into a red dye. And if you're thinking red, you're thinking royalty. You're thinking big money. So those were the main products, always agricultural exports. Abandoned the same cathedral for 200 years. The front. But look at the beautiful angels up there. They're my favorite. There's no religious freedom in Spain or England at that time. So they read a document in Spanish saying you have to go to Catholic Church. But they read it in Spanish. Nobody understood. That was a total wash. So it was agreed by the Crown and the Church in the 1540s to form towns. The Mayas lived in a dispersed manner on their land. And so the Spanish go out and get 10 families, and you've got a pueblo, a village. You give it a saint's name, that's your first fiesta, and you put a Catholic church right in the middle of the park. But the Mayas had no interest of going into Catholic Church in Latin when they'd been praying outside for 6,000 years. If you look at any Maya temple, you have a priest and a king on top, and people pray outside. So it took the Catholic Church 100 years to get people into church through fiestas. So we have a big procession on Sunday. They've been promoting that. 800 years of the La Merced order, huge procession, go to church. Maybe not understand if you're Maya, but go to church. We have baptisms, first communions, weddings, funerals, fiestas. We have fiestas.
Wow, so this place is just incredible. If you look up here where a lot of the arches are and up near the ceiling, there's just a lot of statues and carvings that are just incredible. And I asked her, well, what was the incentive for a Spanish craftsman to move to the New World? And she was saying they didn't. Basically, what they would do is one master craftsman would move to a city like Antigua and then train local Mayans to do the work. And so most of these carvings, most of this artwork, although fashioned after a European style, is actually done by Mayans. So she was saying that they actually had kind of a hard time keeping them from incorporating their own cultural symbols and religious icons into their artwork. So they would actually have overseers making sure that they weren't working in pagan images and stuff into these images of angels and the Christian imagery.
Veronica, one of our few Maya residents in Antigua, she is Maya Cachiquel. So her first language is Cachiquel. Her second language is Spanish and English and everything else. And look at the weaving techniques. I mean, just look at, it's incredible. They are extremely good with their hands. The Spanish culturally were not. Today she's working on a hip strap.
Gracias.
She started weaving when she was 7 years old. So you put two together and you have a Maya blouse.
Alright, so we just got to this really cool place. I've never heard of a place like this. It's called Casa del Santo Domingo, and basically it's a 5-star hotel that built on the location of the ruins of what used to be the largest most important church in Guatemala. They privatized it with the stipulation that they would uncover the ruins and maintain the ruins. So it's like a private effort. It's for profit. They're making money. They get high-end clientele, but then they've got the money and the responsibility to maintain these ruins, as well as like to create museum exhibits. We're gonna take a look around. So the thing that put Antigua kind of on the map, the reason that Antigua was an important city and is still an important town, is because this was the capital for the Kingdom of Guatemala. Antigua was home to the political powers, but it was also home to the power structure of the church for Central America. And because way back in the day, it took a long time to communicate with the Vatican to Central America, the church here somewhat, operated independently from the church from the rest of Europe. Now, the town only has about half the population that it did when it was the capital of the Kingdom of Guatemala. I haven't been to many places like that in the world where now it's got substantially less people living in it than did several hundred years ago. All right, so behind me is a painting of the Last Supper. You can see that the colors are kind of like earth tony, like darker browns, a little bit of red, but not much else. And that's because literally when this was painted, they were using dyes and paints that they were able to make locally here in Guatemala. And so they weren't able to get a lot of the more vibrant colors here, but a lot of those more earth tone colors, they were able to make plenty of that. Okay, so now I'm down in like the crypt, but below me, they excavated a bunch of human remains. I guess back in the day, we're talking like early 1600s, a lot of how the church made money was through funerals. It was prestigious to be buried below the church and to be buried in like high fashion with a big ceremony and to be buried in certain parts of the crypt as well. So the church was making money off of that, but they were using that money to make the artwork, the paintings, the sculptures, and they were using local Mayans to do that artwork. So in this really weird way, they were financing that by processing dead people. And so it just made me think it's a big improvement to have Patreon around. I think Patreon's probably a little bit more effective. Another super cool exhibit. All of these old statues from the 1600s. Statues like this would require multiple people. And so it would be a team of Mayans that would be working on something like this. This artwork, although it resembles a lot of religious statues from Europe, has a very unique flair to it because the materials are slightly different and because the people that were actually doing the work were Mayan. And so their craftsmanship, the way they see the world, their experiences shaped what this art looks like. And so it's very different from what you'll find in Europe. It really is beautiful. I mean, some of these faces, some of the expressions are really kind of powerful. It's just fascinating to me that, the stories, the mythologies, the images of the conquerors were created by the conquered, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, the conquered left their mark on those images. and made themselves, you know, interwoven into the mythology of the conquerors that came here. I don't know, history is not simple, right? You can't just say that one thing is bad and one thing is good, but I think this is a perfect example of a really complicated situation that led to a lot of beautiful stuff and a lot of awful stuff. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure you tune in next week to find out what happens in that statue museum after the sun goes down.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
All right, well, never mind. But we do have a bunch of patrons that we want to thank this week. So we've got John Tarnowski, Mike Williams, Rusty Comer, Tyler H. Douglas, Dallas Smith, Michael Spencer, Robin Blakely. I did that. And David and Gail Nemo.
We've also got Jim S., Tim Simpkins, Adam Alexander, Andrew Mathay, Kevin R. Savage, Andrew Flux, Daniel Parker, Ralph Joseph Field, and Thomas McMichael. And last but not least, Stephen Lee. And Jordan had a hard time spelling Stephen.
Sorry about that, Stephen. So if you're considering joining our community of patrons, then you can hop on over to our Patreon page by clicking on the link that's going to be coming up here in about a minute or so. It'll say join our team. And we just want to thank all of our patrons and our future patrons because you guys are literally changing our lives every single day. You're making this awesome adventure possible, and you're allowing us to tell our story and to create really exciting content that we like to make, and we hope that you enjoy.
So, heartfelt smooshes from both of us. Smooches, not smooshes.
I'll smoosh.
Yeah.
You want to smoosh? You got
That's
makeup
a
on.
smoosh?
That was a smoosh. I can't mess up the makeup.
You're not supposed
Hey,
to tell people I'm wearing makeup.
hair and makeup, we gotta smoosh. Can we fix this smoosh, please?
We also wanted to thank Rob and Liz Miller. They sent us these really, really sweet matching Project Atticus watches.
We also wanted to thank Doug Cole. He is a Project Atticus fan as well as a Keen representative, and he hooked us up with some awesome sandals.
And last up, for those of you who bought us items off of the Project Atticus holiday wish list, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We are eternally grateful.
We've had a little bit of a difficulty with Amazon getting the names for the people who actually sent us stuff. So if you haven't received a thank you, we really apologize. We're trying to get everybody's names together.
So thank you so much to whoever you are out there who send us our Lacey hard drive, our tea kettle, bunch of bug spray, odor-free dishcloths, a water filter cartridge, and jerry can nozzles. You guys are amazing, and we really appreciate your support.
Cool, well that's it for this week, guys. Real quick before we go, let's cut back to Chucky. Okay, cool guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.